Okay, so what we have here is our typical contour map, and it has many features that we should be aware of. Okay, we should know by now that the spacing indicates the steepness of the land. Okay, so we should know by now, but the steepest portion is when the contour lines are closest together. So if you look over in this area right here, this is where you would have your steepest portion. The land becomes less steep as the contour lines are further apart. Okay, so this is some fundamental facts that we should know. Other features that we should recognize is what happens to contour lines when they cross a river. So here we have the Mill River. And notice how the contour lines are bending in the opposite direction. Okay, so anytime you see a map where we have contours, so here I've highlighted where the contour lines are bending in the opposite direction or upstream. So again, be aware when you see this. Now typically on a contour map, you'll be given some pieces of information. Now if you look below here, it tells you the contour interval. Alright, so it tells you the spacing about how much the contour lines go by. Here you have the compass direction, right? So here is pointing towards the north. So if you know that it's pointing towards the north, then you can figure out the rest of the compass directions. Okay, so we have north, south, east, and west. So if they'll ask you a typical question, what direction is the flow of this river? Well, two things you need to remember. Rivers or running water is going to flow from an area of high elevation to an area of low elevation. At the same time, rivers tend to flow out into a larger body of water. It could be into a lake or an ocean. So here we know that the river is flowing in this direction. At the same time, we should also know that the contour lines are going to point in the opposite direction. So, for this example, the river is flowing in a northeasterly direction. So again, it's in this direction, in this compass direction, northeast. Now another typical question that's asked is the gradient. Alright, so the gradient is really just the slope between 2 points. The formula for gradient is a simple formula. Alright, so gradient equals the value of x minus the value of y, or what we call the change in field value, divided by the distance between them. So let's look at this example here. So for C, we have a value of 1500, and then for D, we have a value of 1000. We take our two values and we substitute into our formula. So it will be 1500 minus 1000. Now how do we get the distance? Well, for the distance, in this case here, you have to use our scale. Okay, so let me show you how to find the distance between the 2 points. Alright, so you get a piece of scrap paper or any type of paper and you line it up against the 2 points. Then you just mark off, okay, you get a point, you make a point here, then you make another point here, then you go down to your scale. Okay, so for this example, the distance here is about 2 miles. Okay, so the distance here is 2 miles. Then we go back here, then we write down 2 miles. Okay, then we do our math. So the calculation goes as follows. 1,500 minus 1,000, that gives us 500 feet, divided by 2 miles. So 500 feet divided by 2 miles gives us 250 feet per mile. Always remember your units. The units are very important. And if you look at our choices, that's choice B. Now sometimes they ask for the gradient, but you may not have the value for one of the points. So you may have to figure out the contour values of each line. Right, so in this example here, we're given 1 point, which is 300. We don't know the point for x. but yet we know the next contour value here is 400. So we have to figure out what is the contour interval. So you can try a couple choices, a couple examples. All right. So maybe if you go by 10, 310, 320, 30, that's not going to work. Maybe if we go by 20s, 320, 340, 360, 380, 400, that works. So now we know the value of x is 380 meters. Now all we need to do now is to find the distance between the 2 points. So again, you get a piece of paper, you line up against the 2 points, and then mark off the distance. Then you go down here to your scale,